I'm an artist, and I had to change my medium. I was working in sculpture, and that was outdoors, far away from home. And when I had our first child, when we had our first child, I wanted to be very close with my daughter and both my daughters, so I decided to do something that was closer to home. I started to write, and the first writing project I had was a screenplay about being a father, and I really enjoyed this, but then I realized it would cost too much money to produce, so I needed a writing project that was something I could control, like a novel. And at this time, my daughters were both having a lot of nightmares that were waking them up and making them really stressed and unhappy. And I'd been working on dreams most of my life, and I knew what to do. So I taught them some very simple techniques about how to reduce their nightmares. And these techniques worked really well. So well that they got curious about what else they could do. So I taught them some other sort of common dreaming skills like flying, turning a falling dream into a flying dream, and learning how to control your dreams so that you could change the outcome. And they got very excited by this, and they got very good at this. And they said that I should write it down. And I wasn't sure how to write it down, what the form was. But at the time, my oldest daughter was reading all of the Harry Potter novels, and she was so excited by the combination of magic and instruction and adventure. And she read them over and over and over again, but I noticed that no matter how many times she read them, she never got better at doing magic. And I thought, wouldn't it be great if there were a story that were an adventure story for kids, younger kids, but they could actually teach them something useful. And because of my daughter's experience, I thought, I've learned so much about my children from their dreams. And they've gotten so excited about themselves by listening to their dreams and improving their dreams. So wouldn't it be great if other kids could discover how creative they were outside of school, outside of homework, outside of even art class, just by listening to what was happening in their imagination at night? So I started writing a story about children who know nothing about dreams. And these are the Stone sisters. And about how, learning about their dreams, they begin to learn about themselves. And as I was writing this book, I would read the chapters to my daughters. And a very amazing thing happened. Within a week after they had heard a new chapter, they would start doing what their character had done in the book. And I started to realize that I was learning so much about my daughter's creativity through their dreams. And I thought, wouldn't it be great if other parents could have this experience? If children and parents could start having a dialogue that wasn't about what they were doing right or wrong, but it was about what they could do, what they were capable of that we wouldn't otherwise see. And to include music that was following the same patterns as the book. In other words, that the music would introduce a character, and every character would have a different sound. And it wouldn't sound like different music, it would just have its own instrument. And as I began working with an illustrator, we started talking about, wouldn't it be great if instead of just a static illustration, if the pictures evolved over time, so that in the beginning you have a very simple image of the character, but as the character starts to learn more about herself through her dreams, well, that illustration should change. And so as I started talking with the composers and the illustrator and the social media people, I realized that they were making the book better. That they were creating, that yes, I was giving them ideas and they were supposed to serve the book. That's so boring. It's so much more interesting if I'm listening to the composer and saying, that's a fantastic musical idea. I'm going to put that in the book. And I started rewriting the book in collaboration with my team members. And now a wonderful thing has been happening now where I have young readers who are reading the first 2 chapters, and before they read anything, I ask them, what do you know about dreams? What do you love about dreams? What do you want to learn? And these readers, who are between 10 and 14 years old, are blowing my mind. They're telling me things that their parents didn't know about them. They're telling me things about their dreams that are just incredibly creative. I'm wondering now if my book is challenging enough. So of course I began it as a father. I began it to help my daughters who were having a problem. But I think very quickly they began helping me, maybe more, because I was so I was having a hard time not doing the art that I knew, the sculpture outdoors. And they showed me a way that I could do art in a different way. And then they showed me how I could be doing the art with them. And then they showed me how they were co-creating this art with me. Project. And I feel that I would be lucky if this continues for one more day. If this continues for another week, it'll be incredible. For a month, it'll be one of the best periods of my life. It's just an incredible privilege to be surrounded by people who are all feeling open to sharing their ideas with me. And I'm just trying to stay up with them.